This is the Edexcel higher tier paper 1 non-calculator paper from November 2023. Question 1, work out 6.3 times 2.4. We are going to work out 63 times 24, then add the decimals back in at the end. And you can use any method you like to do the multiplication. So 4 times 63, 4 3s are 12, 4 6s are 24, add on the 1 makes 25. And then 20 times 63, 2 3s are 6, 2 6s are 12. Add together the 4 63s and the 20 63s, we get 1,512. So 63 times 24 is 1,512. We need to add back in those decimals. There are two numbers after the decimal point in the question. So we're going to put two numbers after the decimal point in the answer. 15.12. Question 2. Write down the value of 5 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. The second part, write down the value of 5 to the power of negative 2. The power of 2 means square, and the negative flips it over, it's the reciprocal. So 5 squared is 25. So the answer is 1 over 25. 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 4, all over 2 cubed, in the form 2 to the power of n. So when we multiply indices, we add the powers. So for the top line, 2 to the power of 5 times 2 to the power of 4 is 2 to the power of 9. Then when we divide indices, we take away the powers. 9 take away 3 is 6. So 2 to the power of 9 divided by 2 to the power of 3 is 2 to the power of 6. Question 3. Write 156 as a product of its prime factors. So we're going to break the 156 down until we've just got prime numbers left. So two numbers that multiply to make 156. It's even, so I'll go for the 2s. You could go for 3s, might actually be easier, but I'll do 2s. So half of it is 78. That's even again. So it's again in the 2 times table. 2 is prime, so I'm circling it. And then half of 78 makes 39. 39 is in the 3 times table. It's 3 13s, and they are both prime. So 156 is the same as 2 times 2 times 3 times 13. Or we could also write 2 squared times 3 times 13. Part B, find the highest common factor of 156 and 130. We already have 156 as a product of its prime factors. So let's do the same with 130. It is 2 times 65. 2 is prime. And 65 is 5 13s. And they are both prime. So we've got 130 as 2 times 5 times 13. I'll draw a Venn diagram. So one circle for 156, one circle for 130. So I'll have 130, 156. What do they have in common? They have a 2 and a 13. And then 130 has also got a 5. That's the whole of 130. 156 has got another 2 and a 3. The highest common factor, they're the ones in common multiplied together. So 2 times 13, which is 26. So the highest common factor is 26. Question 4. The mean length of 5 sticks is 4.2 centimeters. Now we'll measure the length of one of the sticks as 7 centimeters. Work out the mean length of the other 4. So we're going to reverse the mean here. If we do 5 times 4.2, we can find the total length of all the sticks. So 5 times 4.2, 10 times 4.2 is 42, half of that is 21. One of the sticks is 7, so 21 take away 7 is 14. So that's the total for the 4 sticks. So 4 of the sticks add up to 14 centimeters. The other one is 7, so in total they are 21. Work out the mean length of these 4. So it's the total, add them up, and divide by how many. 14 over 4 is 7 over 2, or 3.5. So the mean length is 3.5 centimeters. 3.5 centimeters. So now we made a mistake. The stick was not 7 centimeters long. It was 17 centimeters long. How does this affect your answer to part A? So if one of the sticks is 17, they're still going to have to add up to 21 centimeters. So it would be lower. The other sticks would have to be shorter. The other sticks would have to be shorter. We could say anything like it would be lower, our answer would be lower, the mean of the other sticks would be lower, anything like that would be okay. Question 5. The point P lies on the line AB. Use ruler and compasses to construct an angle of 90 degrees at P. You must show all your construction lines. So we're going to pick up our compass and we're going to put the point of it at P, on the line AB at P. And then we're going to draw a circle, and that's going to find us 2 points an equal distance away. So one there and one over there. They're an equal distance away from P. So 2 points an equal distance away from P. And then I'm going to go to each of those points. I'm going to extend it out. So at each of those points, I'm going to draw a circle the same size. So, or an arc. Don't have to draw the full circle. So there's one of them to the other point, and there's our other circle. So now what we've found is 2 points, one here and one here, that are going to join up to make a 90-degree angle at P. It's a perpendicular, so at a 90-degree angle, bisector of these 2 points. So if we just join this up, we have a 90-degree angle at P. And that is what we wanted. Question 6. The diagram shows an isosceles triangle, ABD, and a straight line, ABC. BA is equal to BD. So these two are equal. They're shown on the diagram as equal. And because it's an isosceles triangle, we know 2 lengths are equal and 2 angles are equal. And the 2 angles are the ones at the base, which are the ones beneath these 2 lines. So this is also X, because the 2 X's are the ones at the base. They are the equal ones in the isosceles. So X to Y, the ratio of X to Y is 2 to 1. So if the ratio of X to Y is 2 to 1, that means X is double Y, or we could say that x equals 2y. So we can change x into 2y. And we know the angles in a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. So we've got 2y, 2y and y. 5y equals 180. Divide both sides by 5. Y must be 36. And dividing by 5 there, I've divided by 10 and doubled it. So y is 36 degrees. W is on a straight line with y. So angles in a straight line add up to 180 degrees. 180 take away 36 is 144 degrees. So these are angles on a straight line. And these are angles in a triangle. So our answer is 144 degrees. We didn't need to write degrees there because it said W degrees. Question 7. Mano has 3 shelves of books. There are X books on shelf A, 3x plus 1 on shelf B, and 2x minus 5 on shelf C. There is a total of 44 books on the 3 shelves. All the books have the same mass. The books on shelf B have a total mass of 7,500 grams. Work out the total mass of the books on shelf A. So we need to do this one step at a time. We just need to work out the number of books on each shelf first, and then we'll deal with the mass afterwards. So we're going to form an equation. The total number of books is x plus 3x plus 1 plus 2x minus 5, and that equals 44 books. So we've got x, 3x and 2x, so 6x, 1 take away 5, so minus 4 equals 44, plus 4 to both sides, and then divide both sides by 6, so x is 8. X is 8, so there are 8 books on shelf A, so shelf A's got 8. Shelf B has got 3 x's plus 1. 3 8s are 24, plus 1 is 25. And shelf C, 2 x's, 16, take away 5, 11 books. So let's deal with the masses now. So all the books have the same mass. The books on shelf B have a mass of 7,500 grams. So 25 books have a mass of 7,500. So the mass of one book is 7,500 divided by 25. Let's double the top and the bottom. So 15,000 over 50. Double them again, 30,000 over 100. So 300 grams for each book. Each book has a mass of 300 grams. What was the question? The mass of the books on shelf A. So on shelf A, there are 8 books, each with a mass of 300 grams. 8 3s are 24. Add on the 2 zeros. 2,400 grams. Question 8. The normal price of a mattress is reduced by 40% in a sale. The price of the mattress in the sale is £660. Work out the normal price of the mattress. So the original price was 100%. And if we take away 40%, that means we have 60% of the original price left. So 60% of the original price is equal to £660. we can work out 10% by dividing by 6. Because we've got 60%, if we split it into 6 parts, each part will be 10%. So 10% of the original price is £110. And to go from 10% to 100%, we can times by 10. So 100% of the original price is £1,100. Question 9. To cook rice, the number of cups of rice, X, to the number of cups of water, Y, is in the ratio 4 to 5. Use this information to draw a graph to show the relationship between the number of cups of rice and the number of cups of water needed to cook rice. So if X is 4, Y is 5. And if X is 8, Y is 10. And they're both 0 at the same time as well. So if X is 0, Y is also 0. So there are 3 points there. 0, 0, 4, 5, and 8, 10. That should be enough to construct our 0, 0, 4, 5, 8, 10. So 3 points on a straight line graph is enough. And there we have our line. We could have also changed this into a formula. So if the ratio X to Y is 4 to 5, which it is, we can say that 5 X's equal 4 Y's. So in order to make them equal, you'd have to times X by 5, Y by 4, you times them by each other, and then they become equal. So 5X equals 4Y, and to make it an equation, you could divide both sides by 4 and say Y equals 5 over 4X. And then we could use that to draw our graph as well. So Y equals 5 over 4X is the equation of the line. That's the equation of the line. And that will help for part B. So I'm just going to shift this down. So Y equals 5 over 4X. So Y equals mx plus c is the equation of a line. The gradient is m, which is 5 over 4. Explain what this gradient represents. So for every 1 cup of rice, it's how many cups of water you need. So the gradient is for every 1 you go across, how much do you go up or down. In this case, every 1 you go across is a cup of rice. So for every cup of rice, it's how many cups of water you need. So it's how many cups of water for each cup of rice. Question 10. The circumference of a circle is 10 meters. Work out the area of a circle. So the circumference is 2 pi r, or pi times diameter. So 10 equals 2 pi r. I can find the radius. So if I half both sides, I say 5 equals pi r. So the radius is 5 divided by pi. So that's the radius. I'll put that into my area formula. So work out the area. The area is pi times the radius squared. So pi times 5 over pi squared. When I'm squaring 5 over pi, I square the top, square the bottom. So I've got pi times 25 divided by pi squared. And that's the same as 25 pi over pi squared. I can simplify it by dividing top and bottom by pi. So that's 25 over pi. Question 11. Alice recorded the number of cars going into a village on each of 80 days. The incomplete table and the incomplete box plot give information about her results. So we just need to finish these off. So we're going to use the information on the table to finish the box plot and the information on the box plot to finish the table. Use the information in the table to complete the box plot. So the least is 300. That's going to be our lowest over here. The median is 900. 900 is here. And the range is 1000. That's not the highest, it's the range. So the highest is 300 plus 1000, 1300. So 1300, that's the highest. And we're just going to join up the highest and lowest to the box, and that is our box plot. And then we're going to use the information on the box plot to complete the table. So we've got 780 as our lower quartile, that's here. And our upper quartile is at 1200. So that goes in there. On some of these 80 days, Alice saw fewer than 1,200 cars going into the village. Work out an estimate for the number of days Alice saw fewer than 1,200 cars going into the village. So 1,200 is the upper quartile. So the upper quartile therefore that's 75% of the days. So 75% of the days had less than 1,200 cars, and there were 80 days. So 3/4 of 80 is 60. So 60 days. The straight line L, question 12, the straight line L has equation 2y equals 3x minus 7. Find an equation of the straight line perpendicular to L that passes through 6, negative 5. So we're going to need the gradient, and to do that we need it to be in the form y equals mx plus c. All we have to do to get it into that form is to half every term. So it's going to be y equals 1.5x minus 3.5, or y equals 3 over 2x minus 7 over 2. The perpendicular gradient is the negative reciprocal. So this one's got a gradient of 3 over 2. So the perpendicular gradient is going to be flipped over and negative. So negative 2/3. The negative reciprocal, flip and minus. So y equals minus 2/3 x plus c. We're going to need to find c, but to do that, we can use our coordinates, an x and a y. So we'll have change y into negative 5 and change x into 6, and we'll find c. So negative 5 equals negative 2/3 times 6. 2/3 of 6 is 4. If it's negative 2/3, it's going to be negative 4. Plus 4 to both sides, c is negative 1. Equation of our line is y equals minus 2/3 x minus 1 in the form y equals mx plus c. Question 13. Solid A and solid B are similar. The ratio of the height of solid A to solid B is 2 to 5. The volume of solid A is 12 centimeters cubed. Work out the volume of solid B. So we know the ratio of the heights, 2 to 5. For volumes, when we have a volume scale factor, we have to cube it. So the scale factor for lengths is the ratio 2 to 5. That's for lengths. If it was areas, we would square it which should be 4 to 25, but we want volumes. So we're cubing the scale factor. 2 cubed is 8. 5 cubed is 125. So the volumes are going to be in the ratio 8 to 125. And we know the volume of A is 12 centimeters cubed. So we have 8 to 125. Let's half them. So that'd be 4 to 62.5. And then add those together. 12 to 187.5. So if the volume of solid A is 12 centimeters cubed, the volume of solid B is 187.5 centimeters cubed. Question 14. Work out the value of 27 to the power of 2/3 plus a half to the power of -3. So the power of 2/3, we're cube rooting and then squaring. So cube root 27 is 3. And then 3 squared is 9. For the 1/2, we are going to, negative means flip. So that's going to become a 2. Then the 2 means cubed. So let's do the negative. So we flip it and then we're going to cube it. 2 cubed is 8. So we've got 9 plus 8. That's 17. So we've got a cube root, a square, a flip, and a cube. Question 15. An object falls from rest. Here is the distance time graph for the distance, d meters, fallen by the object, t seconds after it starts to fall. Work out an estimate for the gradient of the graph at t equals 3. So it's a curved graph. So we're going to work out an estimate for the gradient by drawing a tangent at that point. So we're going to draw a line that just touches the graph at the point where t equals 3. Let's try and get a line that's just touching the graph at t equals 3. So something like that. And then let's try and find a good point, or 2 points, to find the gradient of this tangent. So we're going to work out the gradient of this tangent now. And I'm going to say that's 0. No, it's at 1.10. 1.10. And I'm going to pick another point over here. And that is 585. But 585 and 1.10. That might be difficult. I've got 220 here. That might be nicer. So I'm going to not use 1.10. I'm going to use 220. My estimate, the gradient, is the change in the y's divided by the change in the x's. So the change in the y's, my y's are 85 and 20. So 85 take away 20. Over the change in the x's, 5 take away 2. And that leaves me with 65 over 3. So that's, 20. I can leave it like that. I can leave it as 65 over 3. Or it's 21 and 2/3. So either of those, 21 and 2/3. There's going to be a range of acceptable answers for this question. but 21 2/3 seems okay. Question 16. At the start of year n, the population of a species is Pn. At the start of the following year, so Pn plus 1 is K times Pn. So you multiply by something to get the next year. The population at the start of year 1 is 8 million. The population at the start of year 2 is 6 million. Work out the population at the start of year 3. So P2 is K times P1. P1 is 8 million and P2 is 6 million. So 6 equals K times 8. 6 equals 8K. So K is 6/8 or 3/4 or 0.75. And then we can use that to find the population in year 3. So the population in year 3 is K times the population in year 2. So 3/4 of 6 million. 3/4 of 6 is 4.5. So 1/4 of 6 is 1.5. 3/4 of 6 is 4.5. So it's 4.5 million. At the start of year 5, the value of K is increased by 0.3 to a new constant value. Louise thinks from the start of year 5, the population would increase year on year. Is Louise correct? So 0.75 plus 0.3 is 1.05. So yes, Louise is correct because K would be greater than 1. So if you multiply by something bigger than 1, you increase the number. So multiplying by 1.05 is the same as adding 5% on each year. Multiplying by 0.75 is the same as taking 25% off each year. Question 17, factorize. So it's going to be double brackets. We've got a number in front of our x squared. So I'm going to do my a times c, my 6 times negative 4, which is going to get me negative 24. The sign's probably not going to be important. 24 is 1/24, 2 12s, 3 8s, or 4 6s. How can I make a negative 5 from those? It's the 3 and the 8. So I'm going to rewrite my question as 6x squared. I want a negative 5, so plus 3x's, take away 8x's, minus 4. So I'm rewriting my question. So it's like unsimplifying it. When you expand double brackets, you get 4 terms, and then you add them together, you simplify them. I've split it back up, so I've got 4 terms again. Now I'm going to put it into double brackets. What can I take out of the first 2 terms? 6x squared and 3x. If I was factorizing them, I would take 3 and x out. So 3x is going to be my first term. That's what comes out of the first 2 terms. And then 3x times something makes 6x squared. That's 2x. 3x times something is 3x. That's 1. My third term comes from something times 2x. That's negative 4. And then negative 4 times negative 1 makes negative 4. So we have finished. It's 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 1. Hence or otherwise solve. So it's our same thing. So I can write it in its factorized form. 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 1 is less than 0. So where is it less than 0? So we know where it's equal to 0. That's the solutions. The roots are when it's equal to 0. So what makes the first bracket 0? So it's equal 0 when, so the first bracket 0, x would have to be 4/3. And what makes the second bracket 0? X would have to be -1/2. So that's what makes each of the brackets 0. And if you think of the graph of 6x squared minus 5x minus 4, it's just a positive quadratic shape. It's equal to 0 at -1/2 and 4/3. So it's shaped like this. So where is it less than 0? It's less than 0 in between -1/2 and 4/3. So x is in between -1/2 and 4/3. Question 18. Spinner A and spinner B are each spun once. The probability that spinner A lands on red is 1/4. The probability that both spinner A and spinner B land on red is 1/24. Work out the probability that one spinner lands on red and the other does not land on red. So we've got two spinners, A and B. So this is spinner A and this is spinner B. The probability the first one lands on red, so it's red, and I'll put not red, red, not red, red, not red. So the probability the first one lands on red is 1/4. That means the probability of it not landing on red must be 3/4. The probability that both land on red is 1/24, which means 1/4 times this probability equals 1/24. So it's 1/4 times something, right, x, equals 1/24. What do you have to times 1/4 by to get 1/24? It must be 1/6, because 4 6s make 24. And that means the probability of it not landing on red must be 5/6. So we want to know the probability that one spinner lands on red and the other does not land on red. So it's either red, or not red, red. So red, not red is 1/4 times 5/6. And the probability the first one not landing on red and the second one landing on red is 3/4 times 1/6. So just times the top times the bottom. We've got 5/24 and 3/24. And we're going to add them together. So 5/24 plus 3/24 is 8/24. We could simplify it, but I'm just going to leave it as 8/24. Here is the graph of y equals sine x for -180 to 180 degrees. Use the graph to find estimates for the solutions of sine x equals 0.3 for -180 to 180. So where is sine x equal to 0.3? We can see all that's happened here is y has been changed into 0.3. So y is 0.3. What is x? So we're just going to read it off. So we've got one answer here and the other one over here. And we just need to work out the scale then. So it's 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. We've got 5 little boxes are equal to 30 degrees. 5 boxes equals 30 degrees. So one box must be 6 degrees. So I've got something like 18 degrees. That's my first one. And 162 degrees as my second one. So it looks like I've got 18 degrees and 162 degrees. So they are my answers. Write down a value of x such that sine x plus 20 degrees equals 0. So sine x plus 20 degrees equals 0. So sine equals 0 at 0. So sine equals 0 at 0. So what does x have to be to make the bracket 0? X would have to be, so sine 0 equals 0. So x would have to be negative 20, because negative 20 plus 20 equals 0. And we could have also had 160, because sine 180 is also equal to 0. So 160 plus 20 is 180, and sine 180 is also 0. Question 20. Here is a triangle, ABC. Find the size of angle ABC. You must show all your working. So angle ABC, that's from A to B to C. So that is our unknown. We're going to use the cosine rule, but we're going to use the rearranged version of it. So the cosine rule usually is A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. The rearranged version, we add 2BC cos A to both sides and take away A squared from both sides and then divide by 2BC. So we're going to have big A as our angle. Opposite big A is little a, and the other two are B and C. So that is going to be cos x equals B squared, so 10 squared, plus C squared, which is 5 squared, minus A squared, which is 5 square root 7 squared, over 2BC, which is 2 times 10 times 5. So let's simplify. 10 squared is 100, plus 5 squared, which is 25. So 125. Take away 5 root 7 squared. So 5 square root 7 times 5 square root 7. 5 times 5 is 25. Root 7 times root 7 is 7. So 25 times 7 is 175. So I've got 125 minus 175 over 2 times 10 times 5, which is 100. So cos x is minus 50 over 100, which is minus a half. Cos x equals minus a half. And we're going to need to work that out without a calculator. So I'm going to sketch the cos graph here. Quick sketch of the cos graph. So the cos graph starts at 1. And it shapes like this. So we've got 90 degrees here. 180, 270, 360. Where's it equal to minus a half? That's going to be down here. And that is going to be the same as, so it's equal to a half. It's equal to a half. The cos graph is equal to 1/2 at 60 degrees. So that is 60 degrees. and it's going to be the same distance away from 90 here. So it's going to be 120 degrees. So cos 120 is going to be equal to minus a half. Question 21. On the grid, draw the graph of x squared plus y squared equals 169. So we've got a circle, and a circle with the centre at 0, 0 is x squared plus y squared equals the radius squared. So square root 169 is 13. So the radius is 13. So our circle is going to go, its centre's in the origin. So it's going to be at 13, 13, 13, negative 13, negative 13. And we just need to draw the circle. So there is our circle. Use your graph to find estimates for the solutions of the simultaneous equations. So we've got our circle that we've already drawn, and 2y equals 3x, which is the same as y equals 3 over 2x. Y equals 1.5 times x. So we're going to draw that on the graph as well. And then the solutions to the simultaneous equations are where the two graphs intersect. So simultaneous equations on a graph, the solutions are the intersections. So let's do x, y. So y equals 1.5x. So when x is 0, y is 0. I'll just do evens. When x is 2, 1.5 2s are 3. When x is 4, 1.5 4s make 6. When x is 8, 1.5 8s make 12. So we've got 0, 0, 2, 3, 0, 0, 2, 3, 4, 6. We've got 6, 9, 8, 12, and so on. So we draw that straight line as well. And then we just read off the answers. So where are the answers? They are the intersection points. So we have, it looks like, so 7 is halfway. It's just past 7. So it's going up in 0.4s. So it's going to be 7.2, 10.8. So I've got x is 7.2, y is 10.8, or, now hopefully this is going to be very similar. So we had 7.2, we should now have negative 7.2 and negative 10.8. So x is negative 7.2 and y is negative 10.8. Question 22. The second term of a geometric sequence is 3 plus 2 square root 2. The third term of the sequence is 13 plus 9 root 2. Find the value of the common ratio of the sequence. Give your answer in the form a plus root b, where a and b are integers. So in a geometric sequence, we have a common ratio. That means we multiply by the same thing every time. So if the common ratio was 2, we would be doubling each term. If the common ratio was 5, we'd be multiplying each term by 5. So the common ratio is what you multiply one term by to get the next term. So to find the common ratio of a geometric sequence, that's what geometric sequence means. We times by one term by something to get the next term. We are going to divide the third term by the second term. So it's going to be 13 plus 9 square root 2 divided by 3 plus 2 root 2. So this is a rationalizing the denominator question. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 3 minus 2 root 2. So we're just expanding and simplifying now. So I'll do it all in one go. The top line, 13 times 3 is 39. 13 times negative 2 root 2, negative 26 square root 2. 9 root 2 times 3 is 27 root 2. And 9 root 2 times negative 2 root 2 is going to be negative. 9 times 2 is 18. And root 2 times root 2 is 2. So 18 times 2, 36. And the bottom, 3 3's make 9. 3 times negative 2 root 2, negative 6 root 2. 2 root 2 times 3 is 6 root 2. They're going to cancel out, and that's why we times by the same thing, but with the different sign. And then 2 root 2 times negative 2 root 2 is going to be negative. 2 2's are 4. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. So what do we have left? On the top, 39 take away 36 is 3. And we've got 27 root 2's take away 26 root 2. That's just root 2. On the bottom, we've actually just got 1. So we're finished. It's 3 plus root 2.